A very good evening to one and all present here and welcome to today's event. We have with us our Chief Product Officer, Mr. Karan Batra, who will be providing insights on researching and transacting with mutual funds on MarketsMojo. Towards the end, we'll also be having a Q&A session. You can drop in any queries you have in the chat box just below the video. Over to you, Karan.
Thank you, Jason. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So a couple of weeks back, I came on the webinar with Mohit and Joyson to launch the mutual fund transactions. And what I'll do today is tell you more about the mutual fund section and I'll also give you a brief walkthrough of how you can use this particular feature. So, without any delay, let me just start with this. So first, I want to explain to you what we've done in mutual funds and then how we've done it, and then I'll take you through a brief walkthrough. So it's a very, very big moment for us because now MarketsMojo has gone transactional. You can do all your mutual fund transaction from the portal itself. So it's a very big occasion for us that we've gone transaction on the platform. Now, some important things that a couple of things I want to highlight about the mutual fund transaction platform. It's quick. It only takes a few minutes to set up your account. You just need some basic details regarding so when you start, you just need your PAN card, your bank account number and your mobile phone, because there are going to be some OTPs that you'll have to put in. This is all regulatory procedure and it's pretty standard now. It takes probably around a couple of 2-3 minutes. That's all. Once the account is set up, then it's, within seconds you can transact across any mutual fund on the platform. So it's very quick, it's very easy to use, and I'll show you how easy and how smooth this functionality is. Second, it's a very, very secure platform. Now, when I'm saying secure, MarketsMojo never handles your money directly. We're using BSE Star platform, which has evolved over a period and is now very secure. So the money, whenever you're transacting, whenever you're buying any fund, it will go from your account directly to the mutual fund house via BSE Star. So MarketsMojo will never touch your money. So it's a very secure platform. For whatever reason, if the transaction does not go through, the money will come back to your account. So money is always, you have control of the money at all points of time. With MarketsMojo, using our quantitative data analysis, you get research across all the funds. So you can select, you can be in the top rated funds at all points of time. We've introduced a very nice feature. It's from which you can import all your funds in one place. You just need your PAN card and your mobile number, which is linked to your PAN. So all your funds, maybe you've done it through a distributor, maybe you've done it through on any platform directly or from the mutual fund site. Everything will get collated via your PAN card and will import all the funds together. You'll get it in one place. Once you import your portfolio, you get all your funds together in one place. You'll get the ratings across all the funds. So in your portfolio, you can get a complete health check of your entire holdings. You'll get how many funds you're holding, whether they are sell rated, whether hold rated funds. You'll get everything in one place. And all the transactions that you do through the platform will be in direct funds. So MarketsMojo is not charging you any commission for this. There are no hidden fees. There is no commission in this. All the transactions happen in direct schemes. So there is zero commission that MarketsMojo is charging. On top of that, you'd save almost up to 1%, by moving into direct funds. So there is a difference in regular and direct funds. If you go through a distributor, like, if someone is known to you and he's doing this mutual fund transaction, there is more often than not, they're doing it through regular funds. When you go through regular funds, there's always a distribution fees that you have to pay. And that comes to almost 1%. So that 1%, not just on the first time, but whenever on an annual basis, even if you're not investing further, you're not doing an SIP, it's a one-time investment, still every year a part of your portfolio value will keep going to your distributor for introducing you to the fund, which is the distribution commission, which you will save by investing in direct funds. And what does, you're saying, okay, 1%, how does it really matter? Even a 1% annualized saving, now this is annualized, so it keeps compounding over a period of time. So even this 1% over, if you've invested 10 lakhs over 6.5 year period, let's say the average fund is giving you 12% return, market is giving you 12% return, This 10 lakh investment, eventually over 6.5 years, even that 1% difference will amount to 1.25 lakhs in your final value. So let's say this 10 becomes 20 or this 10 becomes 21.25. That really, so even that 1% we think, okay, 1% doesn't really matter. Over a long period of time, because this keeps compounding, it amounts to a big number. So with this mutual fund platform, you can quickly set up your account. It's completely secure. You get research across all the funds. You can import all your holdings together in one place and get research across all your entire holdings. And this is available at 0% commission. So, it's a great tool. Please start exploring it. Even if you're not trading on day one, I really wanted to go to the site and explore this feature and see what's out there. And, at least get a health check of your portfolio done, because that'll give you a lot of insights. So only today I was doing this analysis of what, when people have imported their portfolios, what is across, if I want to see the portfolios, how are they distributed. So just to give you like a quick recap, in India, across the market, around for individuals, 80% of their portfolios are in equities, and very similar pattern when we saw for imports, 75 to 80% of the portfolio is in equity mutual funds. So that's very standard. However, 60% of the portfolio is in regular funds. Now this is the thing that we're trying to educate you on, that in regular funds you're paying 1% almost extra, which can come to you in the form of return, but still 60% of the portfolio value is in regular funds. And also very, very interesting thing that we found was, on an average, mutual fund investor has 9 funds in his portfolio. And as the investment increases, if the portfolio is, let's say, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees, as the value of the portfolio increases, the average number of funds also increased. And in the top bracket, people are holding on an average 25 funds in the portfolio. Now this one thing that people kind of tend to do is they think mutual funds are like FDs. You invest and then you forget about it. Paisa ja raha hai, the money is going in SIPs. I don't have to worry about it. That's my saving. I don't look at it. I understand that mutual funds are a long-term investment platform, but it is not an FD. You have to monitor it. You have to take actions, corrective actions whenever necessary. It's not like equities that you have to monitor on a daily, weekly basis, but on a regular interval, you have to keep monitoring your fund performance. And if the fund is no longer a very good fund, you have to take corrective action. And I'll tell you how we are analyzing funds in just a moment, but it's a very, very important fact. And because of this, so it was very surprising for me to see that average number of funds is 25. And because when I'm saying average, some people also have 40, 50 funds in their portfolio. A mutual fund, if you see an equity, now let's stick to equity mutual fund because 80% of the portfolio is in equities. Every fund almost has 40 to 50 stocks. So it is already very diversified. If you have 2 funds, 3 funds, 4 equity funds, so that's almost 200 stocks. Let's say there are overlaps. So there are at least around 100, 120 stocks in the portfolio. That is too many stocks. So already there is a lot of diversification. If you keep increasing funds, so what does diversification do? It diversifies the risk of the portfolio by spreading your investment across different asset classes, across different kind of security, so that if the market affects a certain kind of stock, it will not affect your entire portfolio. But beyond a point, the diversification benefits reduce. So generally people say that if you're investing in stocks directly, you should not have more than 25 to 30 stocks at a higher level, because beyond that, diversification does not help. In mutual funds, we say that don't invest more than 3 to 5 funds, because that's enough diversification. It is already investing in multiple different kind of underlying securities. If you're investing in 20, 25 funds, I'm saying, and so every fund will have very small allocation. Rather have a well-balanced portfolio across multiple funds, or in diverse categories, but not more than 3 to 5 funds, and have sizable allocation to at least every fund. Every fund, if investing only 1%, is not going to add anything to your portfolio value. So these are, surprising kind of observation that I saw today, and I thought, I'll share them with you. So it's very important, even in mutual funds, to closely monitor your investments. When I'm saying closely, I'm not saying daily, but at least on a periodic, on a psyche of the people behind the fund, how they are managing it. Okay, if it's 3-year period, then last 1 month, last 3 months, lucky for us. Next is risk evaluation, wherein we're looking at how much the fund is volatile, if it fluctuates a lot, or how much has it gone down in a period of time. Is it liquid enough? Basis the AUM of the fund. Sometimes the AUM becomes so big that if the fund wants to liquidate a certain stock, it has to look at over 20 days, 30 days, 40 days. Even though there is some problem with the stock, they're not able to liquidate in a timely manner. So what is the liquidity position of those underlying stocks? What is the concentration in a particular stock in a particular sector? So all these come out with the risk. And that's why I say, these are anyways looking at how well the fund is diversified, how are the different securities in the fund. So if you're investing in 20-25 funds, that really is too much. And third, and a very important factor for us, is the portfolio strength. Because at MarketsMojo, we are evaluating the underlying stocks. We use that information to come out with the overall portfolio strength. So the portfolios which have more buy stocks, we obviously rate them higher. So the 3 key parameters of returns, risk, and portfolio strength, these come together to form the overall call on the fund. Now, once these are evaluated, every fund category might have a different weight to each of the parameter. Because, it's possible that in large caps, the higher weight is given to the portfolio strength, while for, let's say, small caps, the higher weight is towards the consistency of returns. So we test this across multiple periods to see which parameter is highly correlated with which kind of fund, and that determines the underlying weightages of all these different parameters. So we do all of this to finally arrive at the rating of every fund in the category. So there's going to be top rank large cap funds, top rank mid cap funds, and this is how you can navigate and get these fund ratings. How this is different from other players, there are a lot of different people who also rate mutual funds. But a couple of things that they do is, like I was telling you, consistency is very important. What we've seen with other players, they take trailing periods. And like I was saying, if the latest month or latest period is bad, it affects all the trailing performance. Second is the MarketsMojo's unique ability to rate the underlying stocks of the mutual fund. Because we are running the Mojo score, we're running the 4 dots, we use that information to come out with the overall call on the stock. And third is the dynamic method of selection. Our methodology adjusts with the market, with the changing correlations, to see which fund category should have what weightages assigned to different parameters. So this was, kind of a brief of what we've done, how we're doing that, how we're rating, and how those ratings will help you. And third, I want to give you a quick tour of how the onboarding process works. And once you're onboarded, then what are the next things that you'll see on the website. So I'll just take you through a quick presentation of, these are all screenshots of the website only, of how your onboarding will work. Now, it's a very simple process. Like I said, once you start, just keep your PAN card with you and have your bank account details with you, and just keep your phone with you, because there are going to be some OTPs that you'll get. Now, this is a regulatory process that we have to complete, and once this is complete, you can start transacting at that moment. So there's no delay, like you don't have to wait for a day or 2 days. So once you select any fund, so you'll have to do this basic detail, which is your email ID. You'll get an OTP on your email. You have to verify that this is the same email ID. You'll have to put in a phone number, and again you have to verify by OTP. If you don't have an India number, if you're an NRI, the process right now is offline. So you'll have to write to us, and we'll send you a form that you'll have to fill, and it'll have to be managed. So that will take some time. But if you're a resident in India above 18 years of age, it's a very seamless process. Next, you'll have to put in your PAN number and your date of birth, because then we check if you're KYC compliant, and if you're KYC compliant, only then you can move to the next stage. So there are some questions, regulatory questions that you have to fill in terms of your gender, your marital status, your parents, your profession, income. So once you put your basic details, next is your bank account verification. Now, once you verify your bank account, we'll credit 1 rupee into your account to just check that the name that you've given in your PAN matches with the bank account. And once this bank account is matched, it will be linked to your account. All the transactions can only happen through this account. Next is signature. So you can use your finger or your mouse to just sign. And you'll have to add your nominee. Now, nominee has become a very important factor. And so once you choose your nominee, you can choose multiple nominees also. You just have to authenticate with another OTP. So there are 3 OTPs. Once you put in your email, your mobile number, and your nominee. And there are just a couple of steps where you have to put some basic details. You have to put in your bank account and you have to choose a nominee. So just these 4, 5, 6 steps, which are all regulatory. But if you just kind of have your details in place, it'll take you only a couple of minutes. And once this is done, your account gets activated instantly. You don't have to wait. You can just straight away start transacting in mutual funds. So if I go to the website, if you click on the mutual fund section, this is what you will get. These 4 boxes. So what do you want to do today? So let's say if I want to go and see all the top rated funds. These are the top rated funds across every category. Now our fund ratings keep updating on a monthly basis. So they're already updated for the last month, and you can see all the top rated funds here. You can start transactions from here itself, or you can go to individual fund. Let's say I want to see this fund. These are my fund details. I can straight away put the amount and start transacting from here itself. Or let me go here. I can also, let's say, if I want to choose some fund, I can search HDFC top fund. I can go to this fund. So I can go to individual funds. I can see all the top rated funds. Or I can also start transacting from here. So let's say I want to buy Navi, let's say large cap. I can select whether it's a one-time investment or a monthly SIP. I can say continue. I can put in the amount, so it's showing me what the minimum amount is. Let's say I want to put 30 rupees. I can either transact once or I can add to cart. If I add it to cart, let's say there are multiple transactions, multiple funds already in my cart. I can pay them all together also from one place. Let's say I want to remove this from my cart right now. I can just click here and remove. So it's a very simple like shopping experience. Let's say you want to pay. So these are 2 funds in my cart. I can either pay by UPI or net banking. Now very important, you can only pay via the account that I said was linked. So if I put some other UPI account, it'll not go through. Or if I put some other in banking, that will not go through. So it's a very simple process to buy a fund. Now, like I was saying, this is the top fund category. I can also directly buy from here. Let's say if I want to buy this fund, I can select whether it's one time or SIP. I want to do an SIP. I can select the date and I can confirm. So once I make the payment, instantly I get a confirmation that, okay, it's in process if the payment goes through, and what's the status. So if I go to my order history, I can see all the orders. So one is in process, one is successful, one was unsuccessful. I can get all those details in one place itself. This is the portfolio that I was telling you about. So I've imported my fund. That's why I get all the funds in one place. I'm getting the funds which I've external means I bought from outside. These are important to my account. And if I've bought them from the platform, those are here. I'll get rating across all my funds in one place itself. And very soon you'll also get these invest more and redeem functionalities. You can import the fund. Now this was the method I was telling you. If I put continue, I just have to put my PAN number, my mobile number. I'll get an OTP. So let's say I'll get an OTP, and once I put in the OTP, the transaction will get imported to my account. You can also access it directly. So, I'm sure by now everyone is familiar with the OneView page. If you go to where you get all your funds, all your portfolios, all your infinity portfolio, model portfolios in one place. here we've introduced this tab. If you click on mutual funds, you'll straight away come to the mutual fund portfolio. And again, if you click on stocks, you'll go back. So this is, what I wanted to show you today. A very simple process of transacting. It's very seamless. It takes just a couple of minutes. It's very secure. And I also wanted to tell you how we rate funds and why it's a very robust mechanism and why you should look at your funds. And it's not an everyday investment. You have to at least monitor them on a regular basis. Before we go to the Q&A, I just want to announce that only for people who are in the webinar, we're offering a very special subscription rate. This is available only at 26,999 for 2 years plus 3 months extra. So only for people in the webinar, they're getting the extra months of 26,999 for 2 years plus 3 months. Now, if you already have a Mojo Professional subscription, this will extend your subscription by another 2 years and 3 months. So if you have, let's say, 1 year and you buy this, it will become 3 years and 3 months. This entire package includes MarketsMojo Professional, which is all the stock research and advisory. You also fund. So if you have, let's say, 1 lakh of investment, you should first see what is the right asset allocation for you. How much should be in equities? How much should be in debt? In equities, how much should be in large cap equity? Let's say in mid cap equities. And then within large cap, I would say just go with one fund and monitor that fund. I understand what you're saying is diversify across fund houses, diversify across fund managers, but I think it's better to diversify across asset classes and fund class selection, and within that have the top rated fund and monitor that fund performance. Because if you have too many funds in the same category, let's say you have 2 large cap funds. Large caps by regulation can only invest in the top 100 funds. Every fund has almost 50 to 60 stocks. So they're all investing in the same stocks. Both your 2 funds will be investing almost in identical stocks. Mostly they'll be having weightages very close to the exchange, so of the index. So you'll have very, very similar funds doing very similar job. Rather, I would say it's better to diversify across asset classes, across fund categories, rather than having multiple funds in the same category.
Okay. Moving to this next particular question by Payal, can you please show how to pick gold or silver ETFs in the mutual fund section?
So ETFs, you cannot buy ETF through the platform. Okay, so it's a good point. I think I missed that. Through this platform, you can only transact in index funds because it's a mutual fund platform. ETFs you can buy directly through your stock broker. So you cannot transact on ETFs from the platform, and so that's the thing that you won't be able to do through the platform. However, to rate gold and silver ETF, I don't think we rate gold and silver ETF because those are commodity more or less, and we're right now not rating commodity funds or commodity ETFs because the underlying fund is not available. However, if you're investing in gold or silver ETF, the best way to do that is take the fund which has the lowest tracking error. Now, what I mean by tracking error is, and that's the best way to rate any index or an ETF fund. What tracking error does is it says how much away it is from the underlying benchmark. So if the main purpose of an ETF is to mimic the index or the underlying as close as possible. So if let's say broadly the gold price have moved 20% in the last 1 year, the fund which is the closest to that 20% is the right fund because that has the lowest tracking error. Now I'm simplifying this, but broadly this is what it means. The fund which is the closest to the performance of the underlying is the right fund. And of course, ETFs anyways have very low fees. So accounting for that fees in the fund variance.
Okay, moving to this next question by Prakash. Dear Karan, can we get the overall market price on a daily basis of all our mutual funds by a graph, just as we can do that for the stock price in the program?
Okay, it's a great suggestion. We don't have it right now, but the new mutual fund portfolio that we've launched, just I would say go through it, and this is one feature that we'll definitely add because I understand it's a very good feature to have all their portfolio values. The mutual fund portfolio will be available on the markets platform even if you're not a professional member. You can still see your portfolio. The transactions are in direct funds, so that can be done through the portfolio itself. That is not going to charge. The research you might not be able to get if you're not a Mojo professional member, but your portfolio will be stored here. The transactions you can still do from here. Plus, one very, very important thing. All these funds will be in your name. So if you are with MarketsMojo, if you're not with MarketsMojo, these funds are in your name. The value will be with you. If you go to, let's say, directly to the fund website and you redeem from there, the money will come to your bank account. We are not holding it in our account. They're always held in your account in your name. So it's completely safe. Even if you're not with MarketsMojo, the thing is you'll not get research on these funds, but the transactions and everything will be in your name. So don't worry about that.
Okay, moving on to this next question. When you are invested in a mutual fund, what's the right time to sell the mutual fund?
So, mutual funds inherently are long-term investment. It's not that, you'll be selling it after every month or 2 months. Most of the mutual funds, to encourage that, also have exit loads. Like equity funds more or less have 1 year period below which you'll have some exit load. Like the standard is around 1%. So if you're selling it within 1 year, you'll have to pay 1% as extra fees that will get deducted. So a good rule of thumb, I think, is to hold at least equity mutual funds for a year. But having said that, if in the meantime the fund has a big change, then it warrants that you should get out, then you can look at it. But as a good rule of thumb, you should keep at least for a year. But when I'm saying 1 year, it's not like you just put it and forget about it. Please monitor your investments on a regular basis, and that's where MarketsMojo will help you do that.
Okay, this next question by Mr. Soundarajan. Which prices take you when buying any mutual fund? Since NAV is declared after market closes, could you clarify?
So, this is most of the funds, what they do is, if they have a cutoff. Standard cutoff is 230, but it can be different. So if you put in your investment request before the cutoff, you will get the previous day's NAV. If you put it after the cutoff, you get end of the day NAV. Like, so let's say today is 22nd. So, if you put before, let's say you put it around 12, you'll get off 21st. If you put it after 2:30 or 3, you get off 22nd. So, and every fund can have a different cutoff. But having said that, when you're investing in mutual funds, you should not really worry about that because it's a long-term investment. So 1 day prior or later will not affect your investments over a long period. But technically this is a before and after cutoff is what is taken.
Okay, next question by Ashutosh. The 3 dots are not visible in mutual fund portfolio. Kindly suggest how to sell the present holding then.
So 3 dots are not available, but on every fund, if it's rated, you'll get whether it is a buy, hold or sell. So for mutual fund, we make it simple. We just say it's buy rated or hold rated and what is the rank of the fund, because it's a rank concept. So the dots are not there. We've simplified. We just say whether it's buy, hold or sell and what is the rank within the space. So within large cap, what's the rank of this fund?
Okay. Moving on to this next particular question, this is by Kanchan. Do we have a mutual fund manager performance monitor?
Mutual fund manager performance monitor. So the rating that we have, like I was explaining, that kind of takes into account the performance. Now we're doing it the performance of the fund, not the fund manager per se. So we're not saying, let's say, Karan Batra is a fund manager. We're not saying how is Karan Batra's performance. We're saying, let's say, Karan is managing fund ABC. How is the ABC fund performance? So we do it at the fund level, not at the fund manager level. So it's possible if one fund manager is managing 3 or 4 funds. One fund is doing well, but the other 3 are not doing well. So we do it on a fund by fund basis rather than at the fund manager level. But it's a very good suggestion, and Jason, I think we should note this down. That can we have a place where you can see all the funds managed by the manager and how those are rated. So that probably we can incorporate.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Moving on to this next particular question, I can see a lot of investors are actually asking this particular question is it possible to sell the fund directly from MarketsMojo?
Yes, so we are introducing this. There are 3 kinds of funds, right? So the fund which you've bought through MarketsMojo, you can easily sell through MarketsMojo. Fund that you import from outside, it can be a direct fund or a regular fund. Direct fund, you'll be able to sell, I think, from tomorrow or day after. We're just checking that and we'll introduce it very soon. If it's a regular fund, you'll have to wait for a few days. We're working on that functionality. But yes, very soon you'll be able to sell all the funds through the MarketsMojo platform itself. Now, we've just launched this platform. There are a lot of features that are coming into the platform. So, slowly and steadily, you'll see a lot of these other things like redeem and switch and everything will be coming into the platform very soon. But through MarketsMojo, yes, and through from outside direct also in the next 1 or 2 days, and regular will take a couple of more days, but that will also come very soon.
Okay. This next question by Mr. Umakan. Dear Karan, in my mutual fund portfolio, we get a consolidated portfolio. Individual transactions in each mutual fund over a period of time is still not visible. Also, there's no capital gains calculation for income tax returns. Hence, we need to continue with existing PMS who manage our portfolios. So, when will we be able to get this detailed information on our portfolio maintained with MarketsMojo?
So, the transaction once you've imported your portfolio, the transaction history will start coming from this week. So you'll be able to see all the transactions that have happened in your portfolio itself in one place. Capital gains, you're right, will take some time to calculate capital gains, but this is very easily available through your CAMS statements also. But I'll definitely make a point of this of capital gains. And we'll try to incorporate this as early as possible.
Okay. Next question by Suresh. Dear Karan, I have already registered in MarketsMojo's mutual fund platform and started transacting. However, my digital signature has not come properly. I want to upload my signature in a PDF format. Please advise if this is possible.
So Jason, just take his details and we'll have someone from the backend contact you. And if we just check if the signature will do for now or if another signature is required. If not, then we'll also inform you. But if it's required, we'll probably, like you're saying, we'll ask you for a picture of that signature and then upload it on our end.
Okay, I can see there's one particular question coming by a lot of investors. Karan, do you prefer any particular category or mutual fund when you invest in?
So, okay, if you ask me personally, I invest in either MarketsMojo's Infinity portfolio or model portfolio, or I invest in small and mid cap portfolio. But that is my personal thing because see, when you're investing first, and for everyone it is different, and why it is different is you have to look at many things like what is the right allocation for you, what is your age, how much risk you can take, what is going to be your investment cycle. So because I'm not that old, so I have a long-term investment horizon, I can take more risk. So that's why I prefer small and mid caps. And your different investments. So how is your debt kind of placed? What is the level of insurance you have? You have to consider all that and then come out with your asset allocation that is good for you. So if you're a very aggressive investor, you're young, you don't have a lot of family obligations, you can invest a lot of money in small, like maybe your entire money in equities, and that too a lot in small and mid cap. But as you go in age and you have goals and that are coming up in some time. So if you have some family function coming, your child's education, which is let's say 5 years away, you cannot put all your money in equities because you have to save for that particular goal, which has a very defined term, very defined investment amount. So all those things have to become a factor when you're investing, when you're deciding your asset allocation, and then you're deciding in your the basket of investments that you pick for that.
Okay, this next question, many of the investors are asking this. Can I add the mutual fund holdings of my family members using their PAN and mobile number? Can I have more than one mutual fund portfolio just like model portfolios?
So right now there is only one mutual fund transaction portfolio, and why we've kept it that is because you can import from other people. That will come with a tag of different PAN. So it will say different PAN in that. Because when you're redeeming or doing any transaction, you will not be able to do that in this account. You will be able to see everything together, but you will not be able to transact on those because transactions can only happen through one PAN because your mobile number has to be linked, your PAN has to be linked, your bank account has to be linked. So you won't be able to do transactions in that account. I would personally say that have different IDs for your family members because transaction can only flow from those email IDs and those PAN cards although you can import everything together and see it in one place, but you will not be able to transact on those PAN cards.
Okay, Nagi Reddy asked this question. When will we start the mutual fund portfolio, as I want to start a one-time investment as well as SIP for 100% equity funds with an aggressive approach?
Okay, sir. So this is something that we are working on, where we'll suggest a basket. Now, thing is, those will come on the investment advisory platform, because when we are suggesting some investments to you, those become investment advisory. So right now we are building all the tools for the transaction to go through smoothly, and to give your advice on your current portfolio with the top rated funds, and then we'll move on to the advisory products. So these are definitely in our list of things, but it will take some time, once the everything kind of is in place, to then move on to the advisory platform. But yes, this is there. However, right now you can start with the top rated funds. You can select the top rated large cap, mid cap, small cap fund, depending on your allocation. If you're saying aggressive, then maybe you can look at more of mid and small caps. You can start doing transaction, you can start doing SIP in those funds right now also.
Question by Ajay. When we buy mutual funds through MarketsMojo, by default we will buy at NAV of direct option, not regular option.
Only direct. We'll not have any regular options. It'll only direct, so you save on your brokerage commission. That completely goes to you. Nothing is coming to us in that. You get the added benefit of the commission not being paid out, and your entire investments being put to use. Because typically what will happen is, if you're putting 100, one straight goes to the distributor, only 99 gets invested, and every year some part of that 99, let's say it becomes 101, again one goes to the distributor. But in this case, everything is invested, everything accrues to you directly. So it is only going to be direct option.
Okay, question by Abhishek. Where are our mutual funds NAV stored? Just like shares are stored in our demat account, similarly, where are these units stored?
So how this happens is, when you're investing in mutual funds, let's say I buy a fund of HDFC, and HDFC, so there are two RTAs that we call them, which is CAMS and KFintech, which used to be Carvi. So they are managing this entire backend. So CAMS and Carvi are managing the entire backend. Whatever units are allotted, they are kind of the custodians, and when I'm saying custodian, they are kind of doing the entire bookkeeping, the entire management, and they have the record of who is investing what, how many units are allocated to which investor. So they have in mutual funds, there's a concept of folio number. So every investment that you do is attached to one folio number, and that folio number is then kind of managed by CAMS and Carvi, depending on the mutual fund house, and they keep a record of who's holding what amount in which mutual fund. So you can directly go to, let's say, CAMS website and put in your PAN number, your phone number, your email ID, and you'll get a statement of whatever funds you're holding, whether with which mutual fund. So you'll get everything in one place. So even if you transact through MarketsMojo, you'll see those folio numbers in the CAM statement directly.
Okay. This next question by Shabir is, after importing my portfolio, I can find that few funds are not in MarketsMojo. Any particular reason for this? Assume that we import direct funds through the broker itself.
So if you're finding this any discrepancy, just send it to us, because we are using this tool which is importing directly from CAMS and Carvi. So if there is any fund which is being missed out, we'll contact the registrars and see if there's any flaw in their kind of system, because for us it's a very simple PAN card and mobile number, and we get all the funds. But if there is something getting missed out, we'll just check with them.
A question by Sridhar. Good evening, Karan. Can we get MarketsMojo advice on new fund offers?
No, we cannot, because like I said, it's a completely quantitative driven model. We need a minimum history of the fund of 3 to 5 years, depending on the fund category. So NFOs are not rated. It's a completely quantitative model, so we need these data points. Plus, there's a difference in how you invest in mutual fund versus stocks. Mutual funds, I think the track record is very, very important. A lot of times, and this has happened in the industries, NFOs are missold. NFOs are sold like this is only 10 rupees NFO, and you'll get so many more units if you invest in NFO, and that's why it's a good investment. It's absolutely the wrong way of looking at that. It is not like stock. In mutual fund, I can invest 10 rupees, 100 rupees, and I'll get proportionate units. I'll get let's say it is, I'll get 3.124 units. So it's up to 4 decimals you get depending on the amount. It's not like a stock, like you'll get 1 stock or 2 stock or 3 stock. It's only round numbers. So depending on your amount, you get those proportionate units. NFOs have traditionally been missold in India, and we strongly think that investing in mutual fund, the track record is very, very important of the fund. So I would say, and in the same category, if you have funds which have done well, which are highly rated, why not go for those and let the track record build up and then invest in those funds, if they have that merit.
Okay, Karan, that's it with the Q&A session for today.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Please do visit the mutual fund section, explore that, and give us your feedback, because we've just launched it. And if you are facing any trouble, you want us to improve any feature, please let us know. And before we go, I just want to announce that for everyone who's in the webinar, we're offering a very special price for Mojo Professional at 26,999 for 2 years and 3 months extra.
Yeah, thanks a lot everyone for attending today's event. We'll also be posting the highlights on the webinar page in case you missed it or have come a bit late towards the event. And tomorrow I'll be in front of the camera and I'll be doing an event on how to pick the best stock and how MarketsMojo offers different strategies to picking the best stocks. Looking forward to seeing you all at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Goodbye and have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.